Back in the ring and headlining Caldwell Fight Night 2, Nampa's own Robert Jimenez III isn't just chasing wins, he's fulfilling a family legacy. From a quiet gym in Canyon County to the lights of Las Vegas, his journey has been fueled by promises kept, gloves passed down, and a fire that refuses to burn out. Now, with his family watching ringside and the valley behind him, Jimenez is ready to prove once again that true champions are built at home. Robert, how you doing today, brother?
Not too bad, boss. Not too bad.
Good to have you on here. Thanks for chopping shop with me here, taking some time. Excited about what you guys got on deck here. But before we jump into all that, I want to get to know you a little bit. This is the first time we've got an opportunity to meet virtually like this. And
Yes, sir.
I heard a little bit about your story, though, and I got to hear some interesting things on the last time that I caught you over at Caldwell Fight Night, the inauguration of this series that you guys are kicking off, which is phenomenal. Uh, Sold out crowd, phenomenal energy. I think I
Yeah.
was one of the ones screaming about as loud as anybody else in there. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, so but one of the things that I heard you say that I want you to kind of elaborate for me on is that boxing wasn't a choice. You're a boxer, for those that don't know, and a professional boxer. You're actually making your debut on that
Yeah.
last card, correct?
Not the debut. That was gonna be my retirement fight, actually.
Oh, okay. So that's what I
Yeah.
was getting thrown off by. I was like, okay, this his debut, but he's gonna retire right after that. so so talk to me about that because a little bit of a curveball. I don't know if other people were expecting that you were going to announce something like that. For somebody like myself who was walking into that for the first time, I thought you were debuting there, and then I heard you announcing that you were going to retire. But then it started to make a little bit more sense once I started thinking about it because I heard you say something to the effect of boxing wasn't a choice, but it was your inheritance, and it was kind of like something you were just fulfilling as more of a
Yep.
family legacy thing. But how long
Yep.
have you been boxing for? Let's start with that.
I've been boxing since I was 8. I would go to the gym with my uncle Tony, which is a professional boxer at the time, and then after he stopped, then there was nowhere for me to go anywhere. So I told my uncle, I told my dad, and we just started our own gym. Kind of worked our way up. Worked out in the garage for a while. Moved up a little bit more, got more equipment, and then that's when we got connected with Napa Pal, and they provided us with a lot of good things that we needed to make a gym.
Yeah. So what's one of your favorite things about fighting? I mean, not everybody's willing to pick up a career where you're getting punched in the face. What fuels you to
Yeah.
do this?
For me personally, it's obviously in our blood. We've been doing it. My grandpa, uncles, my dad, and me and my cousins. So for me, it's more like it's a mental thing for me. Um, a lot of us fighters, we're going through mental things through life, through situations that we can't necessarily handle ourselves. But for me, it's just, you're in the ring. If you want to get it done, you're gonna get it done. If you only could blame yourself if you didn't put in the effort that you need to put in it, and that's what I love the most for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. A few years back, I understood that you kind of took a pause, if you would, a little bit of a hiatus from boxing,
Yeah.
and got introduced to fatherhood around that time, right?
Yep.
Talk to me about fatherhood and being a fighter. Like, how has that changed things up for you?
Honestly, it's my kids are a blessing. I love my kids so much. But the fact that my kids get to see me fight now, obviously, when I had my daughter, she was just born, and I was just getting out of boxing, so I could, actually do what I need to do as a man. And then now that my boys are grown up, my daughter's old enough to see me fight. She goes to all my fights. I think she's missed one fight, just because it was a last minute notice. But she's been to all my fights, and she loves it. She loves, the outcome, whether win or lose. She likes the experience. I love the fact that I get to experience it with my kids,
Mm,
and mainly my daughter because she was the the reason why I stopped. Now that she sees me doing what I love to do,
hmm
um, I just want to show my kids that. no matter what the situation is, you can still fulfill things. It might be hard, it might be a bumpy road, but you're gonna get it done if you really
Yeah.
want to get it done.
So it sounds like the sport it's kind of multifaceted, and then one, it's helping you personally, deal with things that are hard to deal with when it comes to life itself. But you're also
Definitely.
using it as a way to show your kids an example of persevering through hard stuff. And what better way than to show them what you have to go through when it comes to training and prepping for a fight? Is that
Yeah,
true?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's inspiring. Because most people, I don't say most people, but I've seen people they're even afraid of having their kids, or a little bit hesitant, I should say, of allowing their kids to witness them training for a fight, much less stepping into a ring for a fight. But sounds like not so much the case for yourself. You get something out of having them be a part of that journey with you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's I definitely don't understand what you're saying. But at the same time, I'm not gonna force my kids to do anything they don't want to do. So if they don't want to box, hey, they're not gonna box. You know what I mean? My
Hmm.
daughter tried it for a while, and she knows the logistics of basic boxing. But if my boys ever want to jump into it, hey, I'll be there to support them 100%. As far as my family, they'll be there as well. So I mean,
Yeah,
um, I for me, it's a mental thing, and it's to see that show anybody, and especially my kids, that anything's possible if you really put your mind to it.
absolutely. Yeah, and I think there's some of that's being demonstrated even in this whole series that your uncles are kickstarting with Caldwell Fight Night.
Yeah,
In the inauguration, we had the opportunity to talk, and they had been sharing some of the logistics of putting something like this together and some of the challenges with it and whatnot. But man, it was a sold out crowd. It was pretty electric. Being able to experience it, you were involved in a barn burner at the tail end of the night with your fight, and at the end of it, also, I mean, there was some surprising news with you talking about hanging up the gloves, but then that changed pretty shortly thereafter. Talk to me about how that situation unfolded.
yeah. I was gonna. I said it at the end of the fight. When I was talking to the announcer, that is my retirement fight. I'm done, and I got to rest for a day and a half, Sunday and a little bit of Monday, and my uncle gets the phone calls from Top Rank off of ESPN, and saying that they wanted to, have me on their one of their cards. And I didn't believe it at first, so I hung up with my uncle, and then my other uncle called me. And he's like, "Did you hear?" And I'm like, "Oh man, it's serious now." And then that's when I spoke to my dad, and my dad was, he didn't believe me at all. He talked to my uncles, and the next day, that's when he believed me. So I mean, it was a little bit of a roller coaster, but I had 2.5 days off, or a day and a half, sorry, and we got back to training. So
Well,
it
yeah.
was a good experience for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I mean, what did you learn from that experience? Because it definitely is a shift from going from, you know, local crowd, people to, the lights of Las Vegas, where you might not have known anybody, and now you got other
Yeah,
people that are coming watching you under the bright lights. And I mean, you even had, was it Jimmy Lennon Jr. that announced you? I want to say it was.
yeah, yeah,
So even
yeah.
that itself is kind of almost, I don't know, kind of a dream come true type of thing, right?
Oh yeah, it really was. It really was. There's a lot of people that you see on TV, on ESPN, that
Mhm,
was there at the fights, and it's just one of those things where you just take it all in.
mhm,
You accept every little bit of it. Um, for me, it wasn't more of like getting myself out there. It was just fulfilling a dream, honestly. This is what I don't care about. The outcome of my fights, as long as I walk out the ring completely fine. All of this, I'm blessed to have. So I mean, that experience alone was just, everybody wants to be under the lights. You know what I mean? So
sure.
that experience alone was just amazing. Although the outcome wasn't the best, I'm still frustrated about that, and I think that's why I'm back into fighting again, because
Okay.
I just can't let that go. I really can't let it go. But once I feel like I've done enough, I think I'll hang 'em up for sure.
Okay. So a little bit of that is now fueling you going into into June 28th, I would say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's be real. Money flows where attention goes. But everything you seem to be using just isn't working. Paid advertisement, influencer marketing, the list goes on. So what do you do about that? Well, we got the answer for you. Over at the Boise Beat, we get hundreds of thousands of organic traffic coming in monthly, and we want to showcase you. So we're going to be offering primetime slots for up to 10 businesses to get your product, your service, your story out in front of the right demographic today. Sign up below.
So let's talk about June 28th. June 28th is a Saturday. It's going to be round two, right, of Caldwell
Yep.
Fight Night.
Yep.
And
Yep.
once again, you get to be the main card. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What do you know about your opponent so far, as far as who he is,
Um.
styles, etc.?
Honestly, I don't know much. I know he's wanting to get back into fighting. So this will be his fight coming back into boxing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't know much about him.
How do
I
you
know
deal
he's
with
a
that?
little bit. What's that?
How do you deal with that when you're fighting somebody that you really don't know much about? How do you approach somebody in the ring that way? How long does it take to figure out, a person's style or what they're going to do, or what's your tactic going into a bout like that?
Honestly, for me personally, I'd rather know less than know more.
Mm,
It's just more of like a you know, it gets stuck in my head a lot. So I
sure.
mean, I'd rather train everything I need to train on, work my butt off every single day that I need to work my butt off at, and the first round is usually just enough, to see what the potential is. So
Hmm.
usually, I'd rather know less than know more. And then usually the first round for me is just enough to figure out a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your fighting style then. If you have one that you've dubbed, I mean, what would you describe your fighting style as to somebody who's never watched you fight before?
Um, man, it's a little bit of everything. Just depending on the situation I'm in, or what type of fighter I'm fighting, either southpaw or regular stance. It's very very different sometimes.
Hmm.
Usually I don't have a certain style because when I get back into the corner, my uncle tells me what style I should be working on.
Mm,
So my uncle could definitely tell you a lot more than that. And
sure.
but yeah, I got a lot of different styles. I mean, I feel like the power's there, speed's there when I need it. Um, I always have my feet underneath me as well. So I mean,
Yeah. No, that's something that I was picking up on when I was watching you. I mean, I think your footwork is pretty nice, and you had the impression that you know how to throw a shot, so you could bang if you need to. And I think even on one occasion, you did actually drop the guy. There was a count on it because you did catch him
yeah,
on that last fight, and so you could definitely see that you do got the power, you do got the speed, the footwork's there, and I did see you switch it up. And so
yeah,
it's pretty exciting. I would say it's an exciting style to witness when you got somebody like that and you match them up correctly with the right fighter. So I'm hoping we get to see that as well with this next one here in June, on June 28th.
yeah,
Let's rewind it back a minute and just talk about what's being developed here as a I don't want to even call it a series of events per se. It's more like a cultural community type catalyst of a shift taking place here, where you got guys like your uncles that they've been part of the boxing community for decades now, or generations, I should say. You got generations
yeah,
involved, and they're really seeking to spearhead something that really gets the community behind local fighters, because there's been these local gyms for a long time, but they really haven't had the opportunity or the platform to really showcase who it is that they are and what they can
yeah,
do. How does
yeah.
it feel to be a part of something like that that's really kind of pioneerish, if you would, right? Of an event.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very happy to be proud of it. Part of the whole situation because just in our gym alone, we got so much good talent. The other two fighters that are gonna be fighting on the card, Angel and Ruben, um, man, they got so much good talent. They're gonna be definitely gonna be the upcoming next year in Idaho, and And I say that with pride because I know for sure they got enough talent and they're really strong in the head too. So I mean, they got the talent and like things in Boise, they got Martin's boxing gym, we got our gym here locally.
Mm-hmm.
The younger generation that is in boxing right now, here in Idaho, they could see that it doesn't stop here at the amateurs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's pro fights here locally. You don't have to go to a different gym out of state. You don't have to drive far. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be here locally, and that's that alone is like what we're truly like trying to put on for sure. Because I mean, boxing kind of died off for a while, and now that we're bringing it back, hopefully it comes back and it comes out strong.
Yeah. What would you say it was that caused it to fall off the map for a bit? Is there something in particular that comes to mind?
Man, I wasn't really watching. I've never even seen professional fights here locally.
Mm-hmm.
The last one I seen was my Uncle Tony, and that was years back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So to
Yeah.
see to see talent now, especially the first outcome that was a few months back, it was a really great, perfect outcome. A lot of I really didn't expect it to be that big, but we sold out. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we get the same energy we did last fight for this fight, and just keep it going. And you know,
Yeah.
the bigger arenas, bigger areas, bigger cities, and
Yeah. No
kind of
doubt.
expand.
Yeah. No, I think it was a 9 year hiatus, if I remember correctly, a 9 year window
Yeah,
from the last pro fights. And I think,
I think you're right.
what it makes me think of, because I was around when those last fights were occurring too. And I think that there is something about the community aspect of it and getting the community involved and backing it versus it just being a showcase of sorts. And I could see the I guess the gifting in what's happening right here. The potential is probably a better word of what's happening right now. And yeah, I'm excited too to see exactly what this morphs into with the right partnerships, the right fighters that are pitted against each other. There could be a lot that gets shaped from this if it's done, the right way. And so that's exciting to be a part of it early on.
Yeah, definitely.
What
Yeah,
would you say, like this particular fight coming up? You're only a couple weeks away. I mean, we're like 3 weeks away. I want to say 3 and change weeks away
yeah.
from this next one. Where does this fight fit into the bigger picture or vision of your career? Would you say that you know you're kind of getting a stamp back on your record from something that didn't completely pan out the way you wanted to in Vegas, and that's kind of allowing you to have some peace about it? Or do you have some bigger plans with your career as far as boxing is concerned, or what it shifts into? I mean, have you thought about big vision or big plans for your career?
No, I mean, I'm just taking it all in as it comes, you know what I mean? But this
Hmm.
fight personally, it's for me, it's unfinished business, is what I've
Yeah.
been saying to everybody, unfinished business. And because my last fight, like I said, it didn't plan out the way I wanted to, but at the same time, we're gonna give it all we got as a team, for this fight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As far as future plans, like I said, I'm taking it all in, step by step.
Hmm.
Whatever comes my way, I'm blessed to have. So.
Yeah, that's good. So let's give a plug here if we could for what this event is. I mean, give me the lowdown. What's the date, the time, the location? How can people get tickets and all that stuff?
Um, Facebook, Instagram, Slim Promotions is going to be putting up the fights. I'll be selling tickets, obviously under, Facebook or Instagram, Robert Jimenez III. But definitely Saturday, June 28th, I believe it's 6 o'clock, the doors will be open. 5 or 6 o'clock, the doors will be open. And I think we'll put up, I think, 6 or 7 fights, but it's going to be a
Nice.
good one. I promise you, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. No, it looks like and obviously with the fight game, things always change, right? Sometimes somebody gets hurt, somebody has to pull out last minute, etc. But I'm looking
Yeah.
at the event page for the ticketing here, which we'll share the event ticket in the link here too. But looks like as of right now, there's 7 fights featured. We're going to be featured. Doors at 4. Start time tentative for 6 o'clock ish. Yeah, and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man, last time I was there front row, and the place was going local, so it was something you definitely would want to come and
Yeah.
attend. You know, I'm anticipating that not just yourself, but some of the other fighters that are going to be on the card, they're going to be putting on a show for the crowd here. Anybody that you want
Yeah.
to give a shout out, plug to, you know, that has been supporting you, leading you up until this point in your journey?
Honestly, everybody around me, especially the guys at the gym, you know, Ruben and Angel, the ones that will be fighting on the card as well. My cousin Stellan has been a great sparring partner for us. Um, my uncle, my uncle Louis, which is our main coach, he's there, you know, every single day. Tony, my dad, my whole family, you know, they've always been right behind me. Especially a lot of my friends of ours, um, friends and families of ours. You know, they've been so much help and support throughout the whole thing since my first fight up until now. You know, um, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to have this whole thing going on for us. So it's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it looks like you guys got a great squad that's pieced together here, and you guys got each other's back pretty well, it looks like. So it's awesome to see you guys putting all the work into it. And like you said, or
Yeah.
earlier hinted to, this is not for the faint of heart, you know. So to have people sticking through an endeavor like this, going through this all the way up until completion, I mean, props to you guys for what you're doing. So looking forward to seeing you under the bright lights again here in Caldwell, and seeing the hometown crowd cheer you on, Robert. Thanks for chopping it up with me, bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You got it, bro.